Good morning and welcome to another episode of Midlife Mocha with First Fridays with the FBI. Before we get started, let me just tell you guys, of course, today is, like everyone knows, my favorite FBI agent, Jeanette Harper. Um, Starting in January, we will go live every Friday, and we'll still have our first Fridays with the FBI. So we're looking forward to speaking with you in the community. So if you would like to be a guest, email me at midlifemocha@gmail.com. Today, of course, before all you guys get out there and go shopping, because I know tomorrow we missed I guess Black Friday, but we know people are still going to be out there shopping. And today's episode is just for you. So before you go shopping, we want to tell you a few things. And I have Jeanette here with me who's going to help us realize some things about holiday shopping scams and a little bit about safety also. So Jeanette, welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Monica. It's glad to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna get right into it. Of course, this is my favorite time of the year, but at the same
Mine
time,
too.
it's the time of year where a lot of people take advantage of people, which makes it difficult for me to want to shop online or even shop in person. So let's just get to it. Tell us about these holiday shopping scams and especially those we should be careful about here in El Paso.
Okay, so this time of year, we all know it's crazy, it's bustling. We have COVID mixed in still this holiday season, and now we have concerns about supply chain shortages. So a lot of us are have been shopping earlier than we usually have been, and we're a little bit more frantic of trying to find those gifts or even the it gift. Top that off with chip shortages. So now there's not enough video game platforms or Nintendo Switches. Just all those things our gamer kids want or ask Santa for, ask us for every year. So the pressure to shop, I think, has been elevated a little bit more. COVID has pushed a lot of us. They say we have some information that shows that 2/3 of the entire United States consumer market is going to be shopping online this year.
Right.
So it's driving us more over there. So it's a little bit more lucrative, right? So you tie in the social media advertisements, you tie in the emails that we get. If you listen to our October series, our October 1st with Fridays, we talked a lot about some of the cyber scams that were out there. It's December, so they're still here. They
Yes.
just flipped them around. So what we want to talk about is mostly is if the deal looks too good to be true. It is. So I would stay away from those type of advertisements or ads, especially when we know there's a chip shortage and we know that Apple doesn't really give discounts on their items or PlayStation, they don't have a lot of inventory. So of course you're not going to see the $50 game system or you're not going to see huge discounts on these items that are high ticket items, right? So if you get an email or an advertisement or a text message that says, "Hey, come to our site, iPads for $299," when they're really $500, $600, right? So we've all done our research on those. So I would stay away from those. So what we're seeing is there's still links involved. There's still the text messages have links. They're taking you to fake websites. This the whole phishing uh, scheme that we talked about last year, where they're now diverting you to fake websites and then they're gathering your information as far as your credit card information or your personal information, addresses, socials, credit card information, that sort of thing. So we just really want to talk to with you guys today, just so you can keep an eye on where you're going and how you're shopping this year. So some of the most important scams that we've seen this time of year is, of course, the online shopping scams, but we're seeing gift card scams. We're seeing a temporary holiday scam. So a lot of people like to get that extra job just to either
Right.
get the discount or bring in some extra money just so they have need the additional money to afford Christmas, unfortunately, or just to cover the bills this time of year, right? Especially during the pandemic. So we just have to be careful with those temporary jobs. A lot of us may have done these Santa letters, or you have Santa apps that we download for our children. on our phones. I have done the Santa letter before. There's a lot of legitimate Santa letter companies
Right.
out there, but you have to kind of do your research on
Mhm.
which company you're going to go with, because you might be a grandparent or a mom. You think this would be pretty cool to like motivate your kids to get through the holiday season. So, I mean, just get
Right.
towards the end, behave. Or you might think it'd be something neat for them to do. What you're now providing your children's information, your personal information, and even yourself, or your grandchildren. So, as a child, when they come into a factor, you're not going to realize that there's been identity theft with your children
Mhm.
years from now, just because they don't have credit when they're 5 or 6 or 7
Right.
years old, right? So, when they start becoming teenagers, is when they want to get out there more, is when you may start realizing that people have opened lines of credit or other things in their name. So just be very careful. Um, just do a little bit more research when you're looking at those Santa letters. When you're going on Facebook or Instagram, some of those social media platforms, they may not be legitimate companies. So just do a little bit more research. Look at the reviews. The Santa apps, you just want to be careful, because if you download those, a lot of them are free. But what are the privacy settings on those? Because
Right.
now they're gathering information, your internet traffic information about
Mhm.
where your kids are going on those apps, or geolocation information. You just want to be very careful.
Right.
There's also this new thing, social media gift exchanges. Every year this pops up. Right? You see versions of it. You see exchanging bottles of wine or purchasing $10 gifts online. You might be on a list of participants, and you're like a strangers, and you're going to pay forward $10, or you do like the Secret Santa dog. It's like $10 gifts for a secret dog. So you're unwittingly sharing your personal information along with information of friends and family. So just be a little careful with those gift exchanges on social media platforms.
Now, because I know you got to go into some other areas, but I've been speaking with a few people,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess people feel, well, I have virus protection, so I'm fine. And I try to share how sometimes the virus protection doesn't necessarily work if you're clicking on items, especially if it's coming from a friend, and you may not realize that that friend may have been hacked. So lately, I think it just seems like some people are just like, oh, it's not never going to happen to me. So
Well, the more everybody has a very large internet footprint, and we don't realize it. So because our phones are just mini computers, and they're attached to our hips, even just something simple as checking the news, right? So clicking on links uh, is very important, because scammers have even gotten to the point now where we tell you, hey, when you go online to shop, you need to look for the HTTPS,
right,
because that means it's secure. Or
exactly.
you look for the little lock up in the URL
Hmm.
box area. But scammers have gotten so sophisticated that they're actually putting that S and transposing a lock up there as well. So you just need to do a little bit more research when you're
Yeah.
shopping online. If you're going to shop from Best Buy, go to type in
Right,
bestbuy.com, right?
exactly.
Don't click on links, because even though you have virus software, it doesn't protect you from the malware that can
Right,
be installed, backdoors that can be installed, or even just unknowingly transferring you to fake websites.
right,
It may be off by a character, maybe off by a space, but you're not going to Macy's.com, you're not going to BestBuy.com,
right,
you're going to another entity,
right,
which is gathering your information. So you may not see that right away, because a lot of us, including myself, don't like to check the credit card statement in December. Just wait till January to check that and see what the damage is. So, but we just say, look at your credit card statement throughout the month, and look to see what the charges are. That way you can start um, going through and I forget the word right now, it's lost from me. Um, Fight the charges.
right,
Right, you call your credit card company, dispute the charges, and that way you can try and keep your credit in
right.
there. Right, if you see huge charges in San Francisco, but yet you live here in El Paso, then you know your credit card has been
Right.
compromised, and it's the worst time of year to have to shut down a credit card and wait 5 days for another one to come in the mail. So just be a little bit more cognizant and vigilant in checking those statements this time of year. So
Right.
virus scanner
Yeah.
is not the same as malware and the malicious links.
Right. Okay. So I tell some of my clients, when you're going to a website or when they're trying to visit a website, a lot of people use the search pages to
Mm,
go to get to the website, and they have to be careful there. And like you just said, it's best to put in the actual domain name
type it.
in the URL, the URL box, the URL in the box,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just going to the search engine
Correct.
and clicking on it, because you never know. They may have paid to get at the top of one of the search engines just so that you can.
Yeah, and it's just very easy for them to spoof.
Right.
Like at dicksportinggoods.com, right? It's
Right.
very easy for them to spoof. So, and especially with the plethora of emails that everybody's getting this time of year,
Yeah.
it's very easy just to click on a link, but that email could be spoofed, saying it's from Dick's Sporting Goods
Right.
when it's actually from another entity.
Right.
So, another big scam that we need to talk about this time of year is charity scams. This time of year, everybody wants to go out of their way to help those that are in need, right? That's just our nature. We're a little bit more aware of it this time of year. So, of course, charities, like we had Giving Tuesday this
Right.
past week. So, everybody is tuned into that and wants to help those that are less fortunate to us. So, we just really need to be wary of cold calls, phony websites. We just ask that you make your donation directly to the entity and don't use a third party to do that. Right. So a lot of charity entities, you can check online to see if they're an actual uh, legitimate charity.
Right.
FTC has a few places you can go. It's called Charity Tracker or Charity Navigator, and even the IRS.gov. You can go on their website and just type in the name. You can see if they have the nonprofit declaration listed there. So do a little bit of research before you send in your donation. Never pay by cryptocurrency. Never pay by gift card. If they're asking for those, the best ways in anything this time of year is credit card or by check. Don't pay by cash. That's very hard, especially if you feel that you maybe become a victim. That's too hard to get the money back for you at that point, because cash is gone. Gift cards are as good as cash, and as soon as they have those gift cards, they drain the funds and that money's gone. In cryptocurrency, there's a lot of that anonymization, right? So anonymity. So it's a little bit harder, even though we have some technical techniques. We have some techniques where we can try to get involved into the blockchain, but it's a little higher for my knowledge at this point to get into cryptocurrency.
We'll definitely have to have you guys come back on and
So,
talk
but
about
anything
crypto.
is credit card. Just because you have a lot of legal protections as a consumer when you're buying online or donating to charities at this time. So, because if you do a dispute a charge, you have a lot of legal protections, so you can reincur those costs.
Right. Okay. Well, here in our area, and you may have mentioned it, but has there been any issues here in El Paso, just with the start of the holiday shopping season?
So I can give you some statistics from last holiday season. This year it's a little hard because we're only 1 month into the holiday season. But to give you, yes, to answer your question, there are scams that are happening in El Paso. It happens everywhere. Unfortunately, either with a lot of the outreach that we've had in the community, or our community is we've educated everybody in the community where they can catch on to it's too good to be true. They know it's a scam, or individuals that have fallen for the scams are just too embarrassed, or they may feel it's $50. They're not going to do anything about it, right? So the number one scam that we're seeing last holiday season and we have this year is non-delivery of goods. So you're going in there to those social media ads and you're getting that special deal on a decoration or a gift, right? Whatever it could be, a jacket, boots. And they're not being delivered. So now they've taken your $50, $200, and you're not receiving the delivery. So last holiday season, there across the nation, there was 17,000 complaints that totaled over $53 million. So think about that. Everybody had went out. 17,000 people went online and purchased a gift, and it never came in, and it totaled $53 million.
Wow.
So let's look at Texas. So Texas last year we had over 1,000, which equated about $2.3 million of loss. In El Paso, we had 31 reports of non-delivery, which was equated about 40,000. So the lowest report I saw was $35, and the highest was $7,000 of non-delivery.
From one person, 7,000?
From one person, $7,000. So far this year, from November 1st to the 23rd, El Paso has had 5. So we're only a month in. It was only 3 weeks at that time, and we're up to $10,000. And if you look between that same time frame I just said for Texas, there's a total loss of 1.7 million. Right, so it is a concern that we're just clicking and thinking we're finding that best deal, and we're going to save money, and then now that gift never shows up, and you're out.
So just to reiterate, here in El Paso, from November 1st to November 23rd, there have been 5 instances of non-deliverables,
goods,
and total $10,000.
Yes.
That quick.
Yes, and that's just people that know where to report it to us, right? So again, if you take that one from 2020, $35. So if it's just $35, somebody's really not going to report that, but this individual did, right? So that's what we ask individuals, if you are a victim of any online scam, to report it to the FBI's,
no matter how small,
to the FBI's IC3.gov. Because we take this information and then we work, if it's nationwide or global, we take that information and we can work with FTC, or we can work with other like international agencies, so we can shut that network down.
Okay, that makes sense. But wow, just that in that little bit of time. So did those originate online, like in social media, or
anywhere on social media? So, but then you can also get the cold calls. When a lot of people call you to pressure you to buy things as well. That's like a lot of the charity type stuff. I was unable to pull the charity because we put that into like non-delivery.
I've been getting those charity calls.
This time of year, you're going to, because scammers know that we want to help take care of those who are less fortunate. And this is, I mean, look, I think they said like $23 billion was raised on Giving Tuesday alone across the nation. So it's a good opportunity for the scammers to line their pockets, unfortunately.
Okay, wow. Well, I know online is an issue. So, and I know we've spoken about this before, about how people can stay safe, but I want to repeat it again, because even since then, when we had the last First Fridays with the FBI, I knew some people, friends here in El Paso, who were victims of being scammed. And since then, a few more have. I don't understand why some people, and I guess it is embarrassment, why people don't like to report it. But to me, if you've been scammed, or if they've gotten your email, or you clicked on the link from some other friend, you should let somebody know.
Yes.
This is our mutual friend. Don't click on anything from them or something. So
it's all about education. Education is a tool. So if you have been hacked, you don't know what information people have taken from you, especially now that Facebook hacking and Instagram hacking are increasing every year. They are seeing who your contacts are and who your friends are. So it's very important that you not only protect yourself by contacting your financial institutions or dealing with protecting your identity, but also covering the social media platforms, but informing your friends and family that, hey, this happened. Not just the post that you see, like, hey, my account's been hacked. Just
actually call them.
Actually reach out to them, because they're not going to know if that's a scammer saying that you were hacked, right? So then they're redirecting everybody to a new account. So you kind of have to be a little more proactive when you're the outreach. That amplification will help educate yourself, but also educate your circle of friends and family.
Yeah, and I think people should really take it a little bit more seriously and get out of that mindset of it won't happen to me.
Mhm.
So, so that's
Especially now, like we have so many emails and like, ooh, it's Eddie Bauer, or ooh, like Saks
yeah,
Fifth has a sale, or you just think of everything that comes through right now. We just have to be a little bit more
right,
careful on those sales that are happening
right.
right now.
And since we're talking about online, is there a certain time frame, or do you guys just combine it together, like a certain time frame between like Black Friday and Christmas that criminals usually, you know, pounce in or take advantage of people?
It happens
All year,
all
I know.
year.
I know all year.
But it's just that Black Friday is called Black Friday for a reason, right? Because that's when a lot of retailers go in the black, so they make the most money
Right.
this time of year. And this is when consumers expect those sales that don't normally happen throughout the year. So we tend to say a lot of individuals have like Christmas savings accounts
Mhm.
specifically for this time of year. Like I know my mom does, so that's how she spoils the grandkids. Um, so we're more willing to go out and shop this time of year.
Right.
Make sense?
Right.
Even though there's been a lot of online platforms like Amazon that make it a lot easier, Etsy, to
Mhm.
go shopping, this time of year, that's all we're really kind of focused on, is getting that special gift for family, friends, all the holiday parties we need to go to, right?
Right.
And you're a little bit more apt to broaden your usual shopping. Let's say some individuals just go to Target or just go to Walmart, but now they're gonna like venture out to Amazons and the other online
Mhm.
platforms, because now there's that risk of supply chain shortages this year. So we're going to branch out more
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
and do
sense.
a lot more searching, which could lead us to false websites and eventual
And
scams.
that's been happening. I just wish people would report it. Um, and
It
you
does,
know,
no matter if you just report it to the FBI or the FTC, we all share the same information. That way we can use that information to educate the rest of the public about what's going
right,
on.
right. Now, I know that's online, and I know you shared so much about what we can do. Is there anything else that we can do to maintain, safety online when
So
it comes to that?
online, like we'll go over some of this stuff again. Do your homework on the retailer, the website, or the person, right? Just to ensure that they're a legitimate company. Or always look at the reviews of that company. So if you see, like I've been doing it on Amazon, if there's a company and there's only 7 reviews, I think I'm gonna go towards the item that has over 2,000 or 5,000, 10,000 reviews. I think that way I can go and read a few of them, the good and the bad, just to get a better idea of like how that product is gonna work for me. Um, you can also go to the Better Business Bureau's website at bbb.org, and double check to see if there's any consumer complaints filed against that company. Yes, it takes a little bit more time to try to protect yourself, but it may save, if that 5 minutes might save you $500
Right.
down the road, right? Um, Check out like the contact us page on any emails or any websites that you get. If there's any misspelled words, or you can tell they're not phrased correctly, like a lot of U.S. consumers are used to, then chances are that it may not be a legitimate site. Um, or if it is a legitimate site, they may not have um, really good return policies.
Mhm.
I know I had done an Instagram advertisement. I'll admit it. It was for some boots. Turned out I did my research, but it turns out it was a U.S. They said they were a U.S. company, but the company was in China. So when I got the boots. They were very poor quality. I tried to return them, and there was I couldn't get a hold of them.
Right.
So I just ended up donating the boots to Goodwill. Right. So
Okay.
it's like you need to be very careful.
Mhm.
Even the $15 Christmas ornament on Facebook advertisement, a lot of people get them and they don't look nothing like what you thought
Yes.
you were going to order, and you try to return it and there's no information to be able to return it. Don't judge a company by their website. Just they can be taken up and taken down very quickly. Um, Don't buy anything where they ask for gift cards or cryptocurrency, right? Um, let's see. Avoid filling out forms that ask for your personal information. Like, do you want to get on a newsletter? Like, if you're only going to shop
I
with
ask
them,
people to get on the newsletter.
well, well, for a retailer,
But yeah,
right? Maybe you
that
want
makes
those
sense.
sales, or you'd have to provide some. But look at what they're asking for. If it's
Right.
more than just your email address, I'd be a little more
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, especially like birth dates and things
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah. And again, just double check.
Okay.
Um, don't
Okay.
open any attachments.
Right.
Retailers do that. Right? Because they may have a picture.
I don't know. I think the more I don't know, sometimes I feel like the more I tell people that, the more people do it anyway. The download the attachments, I guess because it looks
It looks
legit,
legitimate.
and people forget to hover over those
Yes,
links to
hover.
make sure,
Yes,
and
hover over the link
so
to see where it's actually taking you, or
yeah.
you can take that link and you can actually copy it and then put it into the URL bar and see the actual website and see where it's taking you. You can compare it to a legitimate site and that one.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff out there that we've pushed out to try to help everyone stay. Again, double check your credit card statement. Make sure your passwords are strengthened. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say passwords.
Passphrase.
Passphrase.
We learned that on the last show.
Yes, we did. So I started doing
Yes.
that.
Use passphrases instead of
Passphrases.
passwords. Yes.
It's something simple as like it'll be a lot harder for them to hack into.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I know we talked about online, when it comes to shopping in this holiday season. One area that concerns me, of course, is in-person shopping.
Physical. Yes.
Yeah, that physically going to the store. So we've been seeing a lot, and I don't know if it's happened here in El Paso, but I know it's happened in Houston, California, and other places. These follow home robberies. So is this something that is just for the police, or does the FBI kind of get involved with that also?
No, the FBI wouldn't get involved in those just because it is a burglary, so it's a state charge. Okay. So it would be at the El Paso Police Department on that. But if they identify that it's an organized ring, then we may, right? If there's like interstate, so let's say they're operating in Las Cruces, but they actually live here in El Paso. Right. They're crossing state lines to do the theft. Then we would become involved. Okay. So if we've identified a ring, so yes, if you are a victim of that, the El Paso Police Department or any local police department would be the primary entity to report that to. But physical security is always a concern this time of year. Yeah. Even now, like a lot of people are shopping in person, it's just more crowded. You have to be careful if you're running in after work. It's dark sooner. Just do a quick go into Ross or Marshall's real quick, come back out. Just be aware of your surroundings. Everybody is just so concerned with getting in, getting out, in the car, go home. Look to see look around the parking lot. Look to see who's around you. Is somebody following too closely behind you when you've exited the store?
Or driving.
You just don't want to be concerns of pickpocketing, concerns of tailgate following you home, or just robbery. If you're going to go to multiple stores, don't leave your gifts. Don't leave your gifts in the back seat of your car that's visible, because we see a lot of cars where the windows are broken into and gifts are being taken. So you just have that, and then you have the porch pirates. Right there, everybody's shopping online, so everything is being delivered this time of year. So we just have to be very careful about what's being delivered. If you're not going to be home, try to have a trusted neighbor accept those gifts for you. Put in the any other instructions. You can have them, if you have a porch, toss it over the wall, put it over the wall in your backyard, just out of sight so that you don't have individuals. So the Ring cameras are really great because it helps take pictures of the individual who do that. How do you know you're going to get that stuff back? Because they just may turn around and sell it anyway, right? So that's a real concern this time of year.
So even though it may not have anything to do with online, it is physical.
Yes.
We're also hearing a lot lately about these air tags.
Yes.
So, and I found out about it because a friend shared something about it on social media, and I
didn't know about it until you asked me. So that's how bad it is.
Yes, and now I'm just, like I let my daughter know, and I let other people know, make sure to check your vehicle. But if you have an iPhone, I guess the iPhone will alert you
Mhm.
if someone has an AirTag tag to your car or vehicle or your purse or
First.
something, or your
Yeah.
gym bag or something like that. It will alert you. But for those who don't have an iPhone, I believe Android is they're coming out with something, or
Apple is trying to come up with an Android based
yes,
Find app,
find okay.
uh, just like the iPhone has. But I, I had a few friends at work that talked about, so like
Mhm.
they have these air tags. One has them on their dog, so in case their dog gets out of the gate, they
So
can
they
find them
actually
right.
have
So right, so you can use them for legitimate
yes,
purposes. Others have them on their children's backpacks so they can track their kids, right, in
right,
elementary school or wherever. So
right.
it has a great function, like especially I haven't gotten as far as like maybe I need to go for my husband because he always uses his keys, right? It has a good function, but then I think when Apple put that out, they didn't. A lot
Right.
of us don't think about
Yeah. The bad actors.
the bad actors that would use that for that situation. So yes, it's
Right.
very easy to like slip it in your purse or throw it in the tire well of your new car of your car. Um, so what they're saying is that there are some Bluetooth. I do a little research. They're saying there's like some Bluetooth apps that you can install on your phone that will identify anything that's trying to attach to your Bluetooth or to your phone. Um, so Apple has come out and they're trying to put new updates to the iOS system. These AirTags, though, they can move around for up to 3 days before your phone alerts you that it's
So you'll
on
never
your
know. So
person.
three
So
days is a little bit too
3 days
long.
is a lot of time
Yeah.
where they can be stalking someone with that information, so they can see like everywhere you go. But you really have to take advantage if you have the newer iOS systems and some of the like I said, the Androids. If you have one, they're still trying to come up with um, a solution for that. But you have Bluetooth BLE device finders, BLE scanners that are good options to be able to have around you. So, but we said eliminate potential hiding spots. So, women, we're all guilty of it. We have the big purse because we need everything to go in that purse. Just downsize your carry. That's harder. It's harder to do.
Yeah. It's easier
It's
said
easier
than
said
done.
than done. But just swap out your bag every once in a while. If you don't need to take your car, take an Uber instead, or just try to, spice it up because once they have that AirTag, they kind of see your
Routine.
routine, and
Yeah.
then after a while, they don't even need the AirTag, right? If you find an AirTag in your belongings, look for the serial number on that.
Mhm.
It's that way there's some I have to do a little bit more research, but there's somehow to disable it in your phone so
Mhm.
that the owner of the AirTag cannot be. It cuts
Notify.
off. Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't notify them and it cuts off them, and it will track you.
Okay.
But you can also disable them permanently by I think they have a battery where you can just pop off the battery and just take out the battery of it. So if you find it, if you do find one, I would call the police department right away and let them know that that's been there. So there may be some technique where they're able to go back and track that serial number with Apple to see like who bought
Right.
that. But yeah, we also try to say like you don't take that into your hands of trying to identify
The
the
person.
person that
Yeah.
put that in your purse or on your car, right? Because it just could escalate and get a little bit
So
of an
that
issue.
is a police issue. So, and again, the only way that the FBI would get involved is if it seemed like it was a ring type of thing, like if several people were involved
Hmm.
in doing something. Okay.
Yeah. So and then we'd also it's just more of an educational aspect
Right.
for cyber that we can help you with. But if we do see how like if there's kidnappings, of course the FBI is going to be involved,
Right.
right? If
Right.
there's like it could be used for different theft or sexual assault or anything of that sort, then
Mhm.
the FBI would get involved with our partners.
Well, again, that was a lot of information.
Yes, yes.
And
But so if you are a victim of any of this stuff, right? By checking your credit cards, contact the FBI's IC3.gov, file a report. You can always call us here at FBI El Paso office at 915-832-5000. Our office is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We do not close. But also reach out to your financial institutions, your credit card companies, just to protect yourself, especially if people have used debit cards or you've been asked to wire money. Please never wire money and stay. But again, your financial institutions. And if you are a victim and you know that your identity has been taken, ftc.gov, that's ftc.gov, has really good tools as far as your identity theft resources, and it can come up with a plan on where you need to move forward to what you need to tackle in order to recover from identity.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm hoping that those who listen will take advantage of the tips. And is there anything else that you would like to add to this when it comes to holiday shopping? And
No,
I guess that would we can
there's a
attribute this
lot.
to the rest of the year, also to the whole year.
No, there's
But
just a lot of stuff. But also another thing is if you're in the public, so let's say you're at a Starbucks or you're somewhere they have free Wi-Fi, and you're gonna take that time to do some shopping. Never trust a public Wi-Fi because you don't know how secure it is to make purchases. Because now they can be gathering, so someone can be writing that Wi-Fi system and gathering credit card information and everything else about you as well. So
right.
just always be aware, just always be cautious when you're enjoying this holiday season. Don't mean to be a Grinch and bring you down, but if it's too good to be true, it
It
probably
probably
is.
is. And let us know, where can we find you online so that we can stay up to date on what's going on in the community and what we should be careful of and look out for.
So we have two different platforms. I run the FBI El Paso's Twitter account, so you can. Our handle is at FBI El Paso. I'm constantly putting out tweets. I know a lot of us, you guys probably don't use Twitter. You're more on Facebook. Facebook headquarters has a Facebook account that they push out really good information. But if you want that local flair, the Twitter account is there for us. And then at FBI.gov, you look up the FBI El Paso office. We put all the press releases out. I did one for the just for holiday
Yeah.
scams. Anytime we have something big as far as any arrests or sentencings, we'll put stuff and we'll have PSAs, public service announcements to push out there. So you can follow us there as well. And
Okay.
of course with Monica,
Yes.
she pushes
Yes.
all the
If you
time.
I would definitely share, and if you are kind of cautious. Now, I did, and I have to share this. You guys don't have to be afraid to follow FBI El Paso on Twitter, because now I spoke to a friend and I told her to follow the FBI, and she's like, no, because then they're going to follow me.
Oh no, we don't see that information. I can just
Right.
see that I have 21,000 followers, but I can't see who you guys are.
Right. It's hard to
Yeah,
convince people of that. I don't know.
no. So we are, but we also ask don't send in tips on the Twitter account because our
Okay.
account is mainly just informational to share with
Mhm.
you, educational. If you do have a tip, then you need to call the office directly to submit something or go to
Right.
tips.fbi.gov.
Right.
But
And can you share that local phone number again?
915-832-5000, and we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right. And if you are local and you have been scammed, don't be ashamed. Give them
No.
a call, or go to the website and share the information. That's the only way that they can help you. So,
Yes, we will treat you with the utmost respect and courtesy because we know you are a victim. So we treat everyone with utmost privacy and professionalism. We're here to help individuals. We're not here just to take information.
right.
So we're not going to blast out to the public your name and where you live. It's a very private conversation between you and us, and we will go out of our way to put you in touch with our victim services coordinators and other tools that you guys can use.
And if there's any topic that you would like to for the FBI to address that they actually cover, let us know. You can email me at
Yes.
midlifemocha@gmail.com. And next month, January, what are
January.
we discussing next month?
So January is Human Slavery and Human Trafficking Month. So we like to bring awareness to that. A lot of the agencies, federal agencies, will do that. So we're going to discuss human trafficking, but we'll also talk about. We'll have two individuals. We'll have our supervisor over our human trafficking task force to talk about how the FBI investigates human trafficking, but we'll also have our behavioral analysis coordinator who will talk about red flags or behavioral characteristics of a victim as well as the perpetrator.
Okay. Yes, that's much needed, especially in this part of the country.
Yes.
So, again, thank you to my favorite FBI
Yes.
agent.
Thank you, Miss Monica. I always love coming to talk to you.
Yes, this is about the only time we get to see each other
Yes.
because we're
Yes.
so busy. But again, Midlife Mocha will air live every Friday beginning in January. And we'll continue with our first Fridays with the FBI. If you have a topic you would like to talk about concerning midlife or anything, whether it's parenting, um, wealth building, anything, just email me or let me know if you'd like to come on and share some of your wisdom also. So until next time,
Happy holidays, everybody.
happy holidays.